Hi, second grade readers. Today we're going to talk about something called metaphors. And a metaphor compares two things by saying something is something else. Okay, so here's a few examples. Love is like a blooming flower. Oh, and the cloud is a fluffy pillow. If you've ever laid your head down on your pillow at night and it's so fluffy, and don't clouds look that way? Even though we know they're not really anything of substance, we know that they look like they're fluffy. So the cloud is a fluffy pillow, and love is like a blooming flower because love grows, it blooms like a flower. So we are going to read today about a book that has metaphors in it. But before we do that, I want to remind you that yesterday we talked about similes. And let me get our anchor chart that we used yesterday for similes. Okay? And you remember that we said a simile uses the word like or as to make a comparison. And the examples that we use were your smile is as bright as the sun. The rain felt like small kisses on my face. The ball streaked across the field like a meteor. Okay? So, what I want us to do today is we're going to read this story, and it is called Skin Like Milk, Hair of Silk. And this is going to be a really fun story for you because it has both similes and metaphors in it. So let's kind of play a little game today. As I read this book, if you hear something that I read that sounds like a metaphor, which is when you just compare two things by saying something is something else, like the cloud is a fluffy pillow, love is like a blooming flower, okay? When you say something is like something else, that is the metaphor. Something is something else. If you hear a simile, which is when we use like or as to make a comparison, then I want you to think of that too. So if you hear a metaphor being used in my story, I want you to put your finger in your nose, okay? If you hear a simile, I want you to give me a thumbs up. So metaphor, finger in your nose, simile, thumbs up. Make sense? Metaphor, simile. Are you ready to play? Okay, let's read. Skin like milk, hair of silk. Similes are phrases that compare two unlike things, as in her hair is soft as silk. Her hair is soft as silk. Or teachers eat like kings. So you can see these are both similes, and so we would look for the word like or as in there. And look, her hair is as silk. Teachers eat like kings. Okay, so these are both similes. So if you did this, you are correct. Just like these, all similes contain an as or like in them. And here's just one example. She's as sharp as any spike. Did you put a thumbs up? Good job. Skin like milk and cheeks as red as roses. Similes compare things like my dad's as old as Moses. So you should be giving a thumbs up right now. Those are similes. Very good. Similes can help you say that someone in your class is as bright as polished pennies. Do you know how bright, when you get a brand new penny and it's super, super shiny? So as bright as polished pennies. Can you see that in your head? Or as slow as thick molasses. Oh, Have you heard Miss Winters say that before? You're slow as molasses because it's really, really hard to pour. And so it's really slow coming out. Good job. They're helpful in describing people, things, or even places, like fresh as folded laundry, or all jagged like my braces. Are you putting your thumbs up? Are you hearing similes? They help you paint a picture you can see inside your brain, like he's clever as a fox, or her tears ran like rain. Are you giving a thumbs up? I'm hearing similes. Her tears ran like rain. Do you know how rain falls down pretty quickly? So if we said her tears ran like rain, would that mean that her tears were coming very quickly down her face? Once you learn about them, they can change your writing habits. You'll write 1, 2, and then a few. They'll multiply like rabbits. Okay, now, metaphors are similar to similes, but yet they don't use like or as. When they're comparing, don't forget. So remember, our similes use the word like or as, and now we're going to talk about metaphors, and they do not use those words. Metaphors will often use an is or has or are, as in, you are my sunshine. Do you hear a metaphor? Or, this singer is a star. Oh, think about that. You are my sunshine, so that means you're bright, right? And this singer is a star. Now, they're not really a star up in the sky, are they? No. This singer is a star. That means they shine bright, right? He's so sour, she's so sweet. His memory is foggy. All of these are metaphors, just like his voice is froggy. Do you hear a lot of metaphors going on right now? So let's think about these. He is sour. What does that mean? Maybe he's in a bad mood. He's not happy. She is sweet. Now that doesn't really mean like candy sweet. It means she's nice, right? His memory is foggy. Does that really mean there's fog in our brains? No, it means that they can't remember good. And his voice is froggy. If you have a sore throat and you might talk like this, then you might have a voice that is froggy. Even chill out or be cool, or heated conversation, an icy glare, a frozen stare, a very warm ovation. At times, a sense of touch is at the root of such a phrase. A velvet voice. You know what velvet feels like? It's very soft, so it would be a very soft voice. A coarse reply. Ooh, what's it feel like if you run your fingers over sandpaper? Ooh, it kind of hurts, doesn't it? So if it's a coarse reply, it's not a very pleasant one. It's like, ee. Or softly spoken praise. So get busy as a bee. Your work is sure to blossom with similes and metaphors. No doubt it will be awesome. Great job, friends. So we kind of went over again metaphors and similes. So remember, a simile is going to use like or as. You're going to see that in whatever you're reading. And then a metaphor just compares two things by saying something is something else, like the cloud is a fluffy pillow, okay? So in today's independent reading, what I want you to do is to look for some metaphors. Yesterday you looked for similes in your reading. Today I want you to look for metaphors, okay? Just like yesterday where you put Post-its for the similes, I want you to do the same for metaphors, okay? Do that, and then tomorrow we're going to play a game.